One Zerg played so far for Team Axiom-Acer. Scarlet defeated MVP, but she lost to Yoda. Now it is the second player for the team. This is to the top left.
Axiom-Mia.
Former Slayers player.
Jokingly called him Gollum for a long time.
Yeah.
Improved his posture a lot though. To the bottom right, his opponent. Starting for LGIM, Terran player number 2. We have
LGIM Yoda.
Yeah. Yoda often comes out second for his team. He's a real heavy hitter. He's been in Codes for quite some time and does really well internationally. So he's the guy you can always rely on. He's not MVP. He doesn't have 4 GSL champions, but maybe one day he will.
And he is improving a lot. He's doing especially well in international tournaments. We've seen this over and over again. He played great against Scarlet. The situation in the team match here, it's still a best of 7. We have a 1-1 score right now. This is a round-robin system, so it's not only about winning the entire match, but you want to get as many points as possible. So it's important that you, in this situation, don't send out any B-teamers if you really want to get a head start in the league. And this is exactly what Team LGIM has been doing. A lot of players on that roster, and Yoda and MVP are definitely 2 of the strongest ones there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Well, we have a very early command center here. It's scouted, so the opportunity for Mia is there to take a fast triple hatch. And on this map, you can do that, but I don't expect to see that from Mia here. He is making 2 additional drones right now, and he's actually delayed Yoda's command center slightly and also lost him some mining time.
Yeah, so far it seems like we have a normal opening for Mia. And I really want to see what kind of strategy he is using here. I would love to see that Swarm Host play that we've talked about with Scarlet earlier. That would be really interesting. But he has so many options here. We could see Roach pushes. We saw 1-1 Zergling bailing timing from Scarlet in game number 1. Something that Mia can emulate. Yoda, on the other hand, he relied on a lot of drop play in game number 1, Bio Widow Mine. So what is he going to do in the second game?
Yeah, you know, very heavy Widow Mines towards the end. And even once they were gone, they already were useful enough to do that damage. I can't stress enough how important it is the Widow Mines damage ignores the armor of the Ultras, because yes, the Ultra absorbs the splash, but it takes a ton of hits. And if you've got 5, 6 Widow Mines hitting that Ultra, it's not going to have much steam left after that.
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of Zerg players have been trying to do is go into more Queens now in the late game to transfuse the Ultralisks and also have a transfuse ready if they're going Broodlord or maybe even just for the Infestors. But it has its downsides. You're a little bit slower, especially off creep. It's very difficult to pull that off. And of course you're sacrificing supply that you usually want to have in heavy hitting units like Ultralisks or supporters like the Infestors themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see what path Mia goes down now, but on the other hand, I want to see if Yoda just continues to play this role as a Zerg sniper.
Yeah, and can he show us something different on DMZ, or does he rather have a plan to play just the same style we saw last game, Bio Widow Mine? One thing it seems to be for sure, we will not see any siege tanks.
Yeah, probably not. Siege tanks, they have kind of vanished in this matchup. A few players still trying to pull them off, but most rely on the Widow Mine, who has so many advantages over a siege tank. What we have here right now is for our Zerg player, though, an opening without gas, going into the additional Queens to be defensive at first. And this means that you don't really rely on Zerglings in the opening. The few Zerglings that you build have basically scouting reasons. You want to occupy those Zanaga watchtowers. You want to have a Zergling at the choke point of your opponent to see when he moves out. But in your main base, you are relying on the Queens. The evolution chambers will be part of your wall off. This means that you can build so many drones because you don't sacrifice any lava for lings or anything. It's all about the positioning of the buildings and all about the Queens.
Yeah, and if you can get that wall set up, then you totally shut down that harassment, which could otherwise be game ending. That's how Hellion builds work. You get the Hellions in there. If you do a little bit, that's fine as long as you keep your Hellions alive. But you can also just win the game if your opponent makes a huge mistake with their wall. And Yoda is starting to send those Hellions across. He has a second factory, meaning we will see that Blue Flame upgrade.
And here comes the Roach Run, and this is going to be quite interesting what he does here. With all the gas that he's taken, this could actually, I think at this point he has still the chance of going into some kind of Roach painting timing, even though he already surpassed the harvest account that you would traditionally get. But with how he lines that gas up, it looks very likely that we are going to see an attack here.
Yeah, I think so too. And Mia, of course, has kept this a secret as long as possible. He needs to keep that a secret, though. With Yoda having 4 Hellions now, he wants to pop up and see.
Look at the supply. He completely stopped his drone production. He went into so many overlords right now. He can now get all these roaches out. And that's probably what he's going to do. Roaches with speedlings, and they are the first ones. Can he deal with the Hellions, though? No block at the ramp.
Oh, this is a big problem. Now the Hellions are in the main. They're going to be able to take out some drones here for sure. I don't think he saw the Roach Warren, but he's killing all of these Harvesters already.
The Baneling Nest is coming in right now. This is what you usually do.
Oh, no, that's not what you want to do with your drones. So many killed there, and even more going down.
30 left. He still can pull this attack off, but now something that's really smart. I love this. What does Yoda do as soon as he realizes what's happening here? He builds a siege tank.
Yeah, he makes a siege tank because you don't have to research siege mode anymore.
Yeah.
With the one tank out, it makes all the difference. He can continue to make the Widow Mines off of the reactor.
And you know what's important? The Widow Mines, if you only have like 2 or 3 or 4, those roaches, they take the hits and then the Banelings roll in and you are screwed.
Exactly.
But with a siege tank on the high ground, this is a completely different game. So this is the perfect reaction by Yoda. The attack is still strong, but the Terran player, he should be ready.
Yeah, and the siege tank's going to continuously fire. It doesn't have that cooldown rate. Bunker is empty here. He needs to get those Widow Mines down, and he does. The second bunker is now ready. He's actually got a third one, so I just don't see this attack doing very much damage. He will catch the Hellions in the middle of the map, though.
He's already transitioning back into the drone production. He realized, Mia, that this is not going to work out well for him.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is a position where he's in that's very uncomfortable because he doesn't have a third base. He knows his opponent's tech. Now even has siege tanks. He's got Widow Mines out, and the upgrades are coming. Stem, for example. So Mia is feeling a little bit awkward right now.
You know, the story of this game so far was really that those Hellions were able to sneak into the base. If that's not going to happen, if those Lings are in position at the ramp or the Queens themselves, then yes, there might be a few drones dying, roasting in the fire of those Blue Flame Hellions. But the big problem then would be that suddenly this push hits you, you're not prepared, you didn't know that you have to build siege tanks, and then you can't lose everything here. The timing worked out great for Mia, but with the scouting information, Yoda, perfect reaction.
Yeah, it was just really well done. I like the choice, and having 2 siege tanks in the mix now is going to be useful in pushes. He probably won't make any more, but just having them there is going to bolster his attack force so much.
I really love how Yoda did this. This was very, very well done. He knew it could happen. And the siege tanks that we have, that's the funny part. It's only a few. Only the few that he needed to use as a defense against this push. He didn't commit more. He went into upgrades for his bio units instead. Wants to make them as strong as possible early on.
That SCV pull was a little bit strange. I wonder if that was a mistake. Must have been. It's sniffing around now. Yoda just continuing to try to spot what sort of composition Mia is making because he wants to know, are you still making a lot of roaches or are you switching into more traditional Zerg versus Terran composition right now?
Usually you would go into Ling Meter Baneling, and this is what we see here. The early Roach Warren is usually just designed to do damage. There have been a lot of Zerg players that were trying to go Roach Hydra, but it's very difficult to pull it off against a good Terran player, so we don't see it all that often here at the GSL just yet. But we might in the future. Most Zergs are just relying on Ling Meter Baneling again, the same strategy that we've seen live use against Flash at MLG Finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's the go-to build, and with Mutalisk being a little bit faster and also having that increased regeneration, they have a much longer longevity.
You have the map control. It's really difficult to deal with the drops if you go Roach Hydra. It's much more difficult than when you have a few Mutalisks on the map, can spread your overlords, have map control, take down those medivacs early on. So this is one of the main reasons why the Zerg still go for Ling Meter Baneling.
Yeah, it's quite common. Well, it's almost weird if you don't see it. That's how common it is. I mean, it is the standard. It's the composition that every Zerg goes to.
Exactly, unless you try to hit those timings that Mia was trying to execute. But it was a nice defense by Yoda, and he is now on 3 bases. Mia trying to just macro it up. You can really see the creep spread is getting better and better by the second. He's taking his 4th base. He's spreading his overlords, making sure that he sees medivacs coming in early. But Mia, he is up against the composition that Scarlet lost to.
And Yoda is hitting his upgrades just as well as he did in the previous game. Uh-oh, these Banelings don't have speed yet. This could be a bad engagement for Mia, but he does take out one of the siege tanks.
That was well done. Could take down one of the Widow Mines too.
Yeah, Widow Mines, Drilling Claws not quite ready yet.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer. Here comes the engagement, trying to move in, forcing a burrow with the Widow Mines.
these upgrades are really going to take a toll. Mia still has not started 2-2. He has 1-1 completed, but he needs to start those ASAP.
Mia is trying to delay him. He's trying to delay him, get those Mutalisks out, get the reinforcements in there, waiting for those 20 Zerglings. It's all about delaying the push of the Terran player, forcing him to siege up to burrow. And here comes the counter. He's moving in.
And here come those Widow Mines. Good hits. He actually lifts the Marines out so they don't take any of that friendly fire. And oh no, he forgets one of those Widow Mines. That Widow Mine is going to continue to get vision and also may be a problem if a few Lings run over it later.
Yeah, could definitely be. The Overseer didn't see it. But we now have also road speed being researched for our Zerg player. Still on 4 bases, taking those important extra gases. And we see immediately the first few Swarm hosts. He started to research the longevity upgrade for the Locusts, but he canceled it again.
I think he wanted to get 2-2 out first, and then he's going to go for it because the 2-2 is much more important to have out faster, especially for the Locust. The Carapace upgrade is so important.
Absolutely right. The only question that I have is, with there come the extra Swarm hosts. Okay, he's committing to it. For a second, I really thought, okay, he made up his mind. You know, like he looked at it, he hesitated, started the upgrade, and was like, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. I have to fall back into Ling mutating completely. But now it looks like he's going to commit more, and we will probably see the upgrade once again on the production tab when he has the resources.
You're right, and the increased lifetime is such an important upgrade to have, but until he has those Swarm hosts really out in a big enough number to use them, it's not really a huge deal.
He might also just use a few to trigger those Widow Mines as defense and commit to Ling Muta mainling in the first place, like to have the main, to deliver the punch.
Yeah, that's actually a really smart choice as well. You don't have to commit to the Swarm hosts to make them useful.
You are getting this infestation bit anyways. You want to go into Hive.
Right. Oh, the push that's coming out here for Yoda is so important for Mia to defend. He cannot actually lose his hatchery or he's going to be too far behind. Good splits here, and a beautiful hit on the Banelings. This is very problematic.
It definitely is. There's a job to the top left, currently being taken out by most of those Zerglings. The Mutalisks are moving in as well. There are not enough Swarm hosts at the bottom to defend the space, though. There's 6 more being built, but they're not out just yet.
Yeah, they're not ready, and Yoda targets down the hatchery. He gets it. Now he can lift out, and don't forget about those Widow Mines.
Yeah.
Gonna hit on Locust.
Cooldown being activated. Where is the detection? Oh, the Widow Mine cooldown, and oh my god!
You know, that's the second time that Mia has lost a huge group of Banelings to the Widow Mines. This is a big problem because that's expensive. You know, we can't afford that, especially after losing to the gas at this base. He's long-distance mining there.
Exactly. That was a beautiful hit with the Widow Mine. He didn't know it was there. It was already in cooldown, and then it's just too late. Trying to move in again. Can those Locusts, can they just buy time? He needs more time. He's on his way to +2/+2. But Yoda, he's pushing in.
And Yoda's had 2-2 for a really long time now, and it's really starting to take its toll. If he scans, he can kill these Swarmos. One gets killed regardless. Another Widow Mine goes down. Yoda has just such a firm grasp on this part of the map right now.
He's in the supply lead, but now he suddenly has a lot of those Locusts against him, and with the extra armor upgrade, that's going to help quite a bit. The Mutalisks are a little bit too late, though. They only have to deal with the Marines right now, but with all those additional medivacs, it's just too tough.
Yeah, Yoda just being careful not to overextend. No cancel on that hatchery. What Yoda is not scanning, though, and without a scan, he can't actually clean up the Locusts, and eventually he will be pushed back here if he doesn't get those scans off.
Yeah, he's losing a lot, and he's trying to make up for it with drops in the main base again, taking out the Queen, limiting the production of Mia.
Yeah.
Mia even pulling a few drones here.
Yeah, this is looking worse and worse for Mia. He's dropping in supply, but he's trying to stabilize here with the Locusts.
But the main base is still being attacked. Here come the Mutalisks. He's going for the Ultralisk cannon. He's really trying to spend his money, but he is now once again on the same supply with Yoda. Yoda is moving in. He's trying to get close to those Locusts, close to those Swarm hosts, but he can't.
Yeah, he's just not quite able to do it. He needs to hit a scan to be able to finish them off, and right now he's just trading against the Locusts. Now there's too many roaches. He has to go back, and for the first time, Mia will probably be able to resecure the space.
Mia with a great choice now expanding to the bottom left. He realized that it's going to be very difficult for him to establish this fort towards the center of the map. Dodges and goes to the bottom left, tries to sneak it in here. Good choice. But Yoda once again with a drop play.
Yep, more drops. He wants to eliminate this gas one more time. As long as he can eliminate the gas mining of his opponent, then it's very difficult to transition into those Ultralisks, into the Greater Spire whenever you want to do that, or even to make Infestors, for example.
Ultralisks now on the way. There are a lot of upgrades that Mia is still lacking. He did not research longevity for the Locust just yet. We don't have him with Adrenal Glands. There is no Chitinous Plating just yet. He needs to make up for this, but the problem really is he does not have the gas because he lost his fourth base and now his third is being attacked.
His third is being attacked. He lost the fourth again to a great drop by Yoda, and this is just going to eventually steamroll out of control. Yoda has eliminated his economy. He's even going to get the macro hatch in the main base. Could go for more harvesters there. Yoda will not be stopped.
That multitasking, just look at that. He is everywhere, taking down the fourth, the third, going for the tech, killing the hatch from the main base. Mia is trying to do something, but he's struggling so hard he can't stabilize.
Yeah, it's just so difficult. The base of the bottom left is a good idea, but he's going to need to get drones over there somehow. Not an easy task with this much bio on the map. And will he actually get these Swarmos? They're just out of scan range, so he's going to have to scan one more time. And you can see that Yoda decides, it's not worth it to try to trade here, but he will get this base if he targets. Oh, the Widow Mines!
Both of those Widow Mines with great hits here, and another one hitting home. We have more and more Overseers being morphed, but they are getting taken out by Widow Mines, by Marines, and this Doom drop in the main base. This could actually finish the game.
Yeah.
But he's playing it safe.
He does play it safe. He runs away. He stopped the +3 Carapace upgrade, though, from completing. And just look at the supply. 200 now. He's maxed out. His economy allowed him to get that max. He's stopped Mia time and time again.
GG! Wow. That was certainly something. Yoda, he is the Zerg killer.
Yeah. Double kill.
Karrigan hates him.
Karrigan actually doesn't like him.
Not at all. He's Mens incarnated.
I don't know if, like, Emperor Palpatine or Karrigan hates Yoda more at this moment in time.
That's actually a really good question. I don't have the answer to this one.
Well,
you know, Mia actually didn't look better or anything. It's just like Yoda looked better, and he was so strong. He was everywhere. Those drops, those engagements in the middle. The read that he had on the strategy that Mia tried to use, and that was when everything just spiraled down south and out of control for Mia. When his strategy, when his Roach, Speedling, Baneling timing was discovered, and immediately the perfect reaction by Yoda. That gave him the lead.
Exactly. Yoda always had 1 foot ahead because of this, and his drops were too much. Mia could not defend the drops. His economy became too low, and what was really interesting to me was that Yoda was always, he had his economy just good enough to where he didn't scan to kill the Swarmos. He just fought against the Locust, where he had enough medevacs, and he was like, no, it's fine, I don't need to scam. I'm going to use those for mules instead. I'm just going to continue to attack you over and over and over and over again until you eventually just run out of money.
At first, there were a few small cracks in the defense of Mia, but then in the end, he just could not hold any longer. And the reaction, getting those siege tanks out, not only relying on those Widow Mines against the aggression that Mia tried to execute in the early game, that was so important. And this was probably the time when Yoda looked at the game and is like, I got this. From here on out, I know what you did. I know what you sacrificed to do it. You sacrificed economy. You won't be able to get your Mutalisk out this fast. You won't be able to hit hard after this. So I am actually the one who can now start to control this game, and he did.
Yeah, and he controlled it well. He grasped it and just he followed through. And now Yoda has become, instead of a sniper, he's become a problem. He's begun a streak. He's now has a 2-game streak. And I think it may be time really to send out one of these Protosses. I don't think it's time for MMA to do a Terran versus Terran. I think it's either going to have to be Alicia or Crank.
2 players are left for Axiom-Acer in this best of 7 today here at the GSTLs. They have to send out another player. And yeah, is it going to be a Terran mirror match? Will we see a Protoss player coming into the game? We're going to find out right now. Yoda is looking strong. He has 2 wins already. And it is actually going to be Crank.
Crank is coming out. Ooh, this is going to be really interesting. He's taken on a lot of responsibilities for the team. Still able to maintain being a player, though. And this is going to be totally shifting gears from the matchup we've seen already.
Yeah, this is going to be a very different game. There we have MMA on the bench. He is most likely going to be the last player for them. That's exactly how they played it the last time. But now we have Crank coming up against Yoda. This is going to be a good one, guys. Currently LGIM in the lead with a 2-1. And of course, before we are heading into our 4th game of the day, we are jumping into a short 5-minute break here at the GSTL. See you guys in the view with Crank up against Yoda.